oh, the Blue Jays have money now. They're going to spend money now. And they get George Springer. And people go, they got George Springer, but they gave him too much length on the contract. They had to give him the extra year that everyone was dreading. This is the big ticket free agent playing in the part of the deal where you're not supposed to be delivering the same way. And he just delivered what is the biggest moment in the franchise's history since Joe Carter. That's pretty good. I'm thinking about the starting pitching staff, the veterans in the pitching staff, some of the guys that would just do anything to win. The Max Scherzer performance, the Bassett coming out of the bullpen in the 8th inning and turning into the world's greatest setup man, Kevin Gossman and the gum throwing, and the attitude that those three guys bring to this team. The veteran presence that the three of those guys have imparted on this group. The intensity of those three guys in comparison to a lot of the other fun-loving dudes that are in that clubhouse and the way that it balances out and has made this perfect formula. I think about Ernie Clement, a cast-off, who now has the most hits out of all active players in Major League Baseball through his first 11 postseason games. Ernie Clement, a guy who last spring we were going, maybe he'll make the team, but he probably won't last very long. I think about the rookie, the college kid who people said, yeah, maybe he'll be here. And then he just went through every single rung of minor league baseball and arrives and delivers some of the most clutch moments that we've ever seen from a starting pitcher, like Marco Estrada level clutch from a child. And he has completely changed the ceiling of what this team can do in the postseason. I think about Jeff Hoffman, the closer that nobody wanted in the offseason, and then nobody in this fan base wanted, closing out big games, going to a CS, giving you 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, 10 strikeouts, including striking out the side to advance the Blue Jays to the World Series. So yeah, there can continue to be some appreciation for the moment before I enter the sweat that is the World Series. Blake Murphy, host of Jays Talk Plus, and at some point, the Raptor Show. Some point, someday there will be a Raptor Show again. Joyce, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? That was really great.
Thanks.
That was good. Here's my only Raptors note as far as the Jays are concerned and the overlap is concerned right now. Raptors changing the start time of the opener to 6:30 on Friday. Tonight is obviously the season opener, but Friday's the home opener. They're going to do it at 6:30 tip-off, and they're going to play the World Series games on the video boards after the game at Scotiabank Arena. So
just play it here.
Yes. You'd have to imagine it goes up. Well, I guess halftime will be just a little before 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, after the game, they'll have the game on the video board.
Yeah, I think the Leafs are doing the same thing.
I'm a sucker for that stuff. When the other teams get in on the playoff run and they're trying to get the, accommodating, yes, but like the Leafs playing the Blue Jays game at intermission. So I'm a sucker for stuff like that.
Yeah, I would be more of a sucker for the Leafs playing Blue Jays game during the intermissions and afterwards if it wasn't the loudest that it gets when that hockey team is playing in years. When it's a different entertainment product that's on the Jumbotron. Yeah. Anyway, I want to start with that, though, is like I said, I do have maybe a World Series look-ahead question for you, but I don't really want to spend much time on it yet. That's going to be tomorrow's problem or Friday's problem when they're actually playing games for me. But is there something in particular that you have been reflecting on as you're as you're doing what I know all of us do, which is consuming all of this content and going through all the different edits of the George Springer home run, of which there are many, the crowd reactions, all of this. Is there something in particular that has stuck with you over the last 24 hours?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff, right? Like you just laid out some of it. It's I don't know, man. I think that visually, the thing that has stuck with me the most is Jeff Hoffman gets that strikeout and everyone mobs the pitcher and catcher, and Ernie Clement is walking off third base by himself. And he's doing a slow walk, and you can tell he is like overcome and like is trying to hold it together. And everyone else is starting to celebrate over there. And then Bo and Santander, and then I think Jimenez joins. Like they start a second huddle because Ernie is like so overcome on his own walking off of third base. And like you just laid out the Ernie Clement case, like a cast-off guy, a guy who you ask any of the 30, 35 guys who are still around that team right now because they've got all these extra guys and injured guys and stuff like that. You ask Dan and Buck, the people who are on that plane, you ask anyone. when you talk about the cultural difference and the chemistry that this group has, some of the pieces are the same as the last couple of years for sure, but Ernie's the guy that gets mentioned first.
Yep.
From a glue guy chemistry perspective. Obviously, look, they don't get
He's the
Vladimir.
guy that everybody likes on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is about to make $500 million. George Springer is the big headline contract. Max Scherzer's going to the Hall of Fame. Like, the guys who you absolutely have to have delivered all through this playoff run. But to have a guy who was a waiver cast off by Cleveland and Oakland, and who, like you said, wasn't supposed to be on the roster, like, it's such a, to use a wire term for the wire, like, all the pieces matter. Nathan Lucas, minor league free agent signing, who was going to retire if he didn't make the team,
Which is insane.
All those little things matter. Like, little tweaks with Trey Savage, hiring David Popkins at this point in time.
I will say too, I'll take a big L on the David Popkins thing, just from this standpoint, was when it was the constant criticism of Guillermo Martinez, I was annoyed by that. I thought it was just the lamest excuse for this baseball team. And I'm not saying that this was all Popkins, obviously. Like, you got to give credit to the players. But I was always told by every major league player that I had talked to about hitting coaches was that, yeah, they're a consultant, they're a soundboard,
Yeah.
and it maybe matters at most 1%. And so I just felt like it was out of whack narratively. But I went, who cares? Who cares?
Well, we also, like, the narratives
he has
overlap,
clearly
right?
mattered.
Where, like, Matt Haig was an assistant hitting coach last year, and he had all the Buffalo guys in AAA, and they all credited him. And, like, it's good to share the credit and stuff like that. David Popkins didn't, like, fundamentally change all of these hitters or anything.
But it's pretty clear that he matters. And, like,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it because he was at the Leafs game last night. He was sitting there with Straw and Heineman. And
Oh,
I go,
nice.
well, all I could think of was, okay, I bet you want to like your hitting coach and believe in your hitting coach and feel very comfortable going to him.
The fact that he's, like, a little
Yeah.
younger, too, I think is relevant.
There's something to him. He barks in the dugout. Like, he clearly has a voice.
His strategy for, like, half the guys appears to be, what if you got really jacked?
Yeah.
What if everyone lifted like Addison Barger? Would
guess
you
what?
guys swing harder?
No, that's the truth of the matter, though, is that a lot of guys get jacked to try to impress women, and then all that ends up happening is you get more respect from the bros.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's
it.
That's exactly it. Those two guys who sit behind home plate who are enormous are trying to get hitting coach jobs.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for me, it's a lot of, like, yes, the guys who absolutely have to deliver for you have delivered, but there have been a lot of, like, all the little pieces matter. You know me, I'm a granular, like, my show, I like to do the nitty gritty stuff. Hey, why would you use Edward Bizzardo when Springer's already seen him a bunch of times in the series? Like, the waiver claims and things like that. No, Dickie Lovelady didn't end up mattering. But who did, like, Braden Fisher ended up mattering. Mason Fluharty's going to matter against Shohei Ohtani next series. So I reflected a lot on, like, all the little parts of the journey. Like not everything is going to matter, but a lot of the little stuff that, I don't know, you do a segment and then afterward you're like, people might never think about that again. Like that, I don't know, we got 2 hours to fill every day, but a lot of this stuff does end up mattering. And then from the more, like, fan and historical perspective, and this is a little bit pandering, but, like, I do think and this is more, I think, this is more done by